5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Brian, you're good to go ahead with the intro.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. My name is Brian Henning from Mont McDonald. The purpose for tonight's public meeting is to inform the residents of the Township of Irvington and other interested parties about Urban Renewal's plans to build a tire recycling facility at 100 through 108 Coit Street in Irvington Township. The preliminary administrative measures associated with this kind of project involve submitting an application for inclusion in the Essex County District Solid Waste Management Plan and applying for a New Jersey DEP Class B general approval. Tonight's public meeting is intended to satisfy the applicable portions of the New Jersey's environmental justice law and to provide the attendees with a high-level summary of Urban Renewal's proposed project. Before we get started with this evening's presentation, I wish to provide you all with a clarification statement about the public notifications that were advertised in the Irvington Herald and in Luso Americano. The original public notification, which ran in the Irvington Herald on February the 3rd and in Luso Americano on February 2nd and 3rd, included the following opening sentence. Please take notice that in accordance with Administrative Order 2021-2025, Environmental Justice Law, the Township of Irvington will hold a public meeting on Monday, March 14th, 2022 at 6 p.m. After this original notification was published in these newspapers, we realized that the choice of wording could lead someone to believe and or conclude that the Township of Irvington is holding this evening's public meeting. Please understand that this is not correct. Please be advised that tonight's public meeting is being held by Urban Renewal. Tonight's public meeting is not being held by the Township of Irvington. Please also be advised that because of this potential for confusion about what party is actually responsible for holding tonight's meeting, we ran clarification advertisements in both of the aforementioned newspapers that read as follows. Please take notice that in accordance with Administrative Order number 2021-25, Environmental Justice Law, Urban Renewal will hold a public meeting on Monday, March 14th, 2022 at 6:00 p.m. It is my understanding that this clarification advertisement was published in the Irvington Herald on March the 10th and in Luso Americano on March 2nd and 4th. Having said this, we would like to offer our sincerest apologies for any confusion to all who may have read these notifications. At this time, I'll turn the presentation over to Ms. Jamie Miro of Mont McDonald. Jamie and her team put together a very nice PowerPoint presentation, which should give you all a better understanding of Urban Renewal's vision for this project.
Great. Thank you so much, Brian, for the introduction and for the clarification. Again, my name is Jamie Miro. I'm an environmental scientist with Mont McDonald, and I will be presenting this presentation on behalf of Urban Renewal as part of the NJDEP Environmental Justice Law. So tonight, our meeting, we have a public information meeting as part of the Environmental Justice Law. Again, this is being held by Urban Renewal in the application for a potential tire recycling facility. The facility will be located at 100-108 Coit Street in Irvington Township, New Jersey at Block 203, Lot 2. And today's meeting is taking place on Monday, March 14th, 2022 at 6 p.m. It's currently 6:11 p.m. Can everyone see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Thank you. Tonight's schedule will go over the following. First, we have the facility location. Then we will go over the facility operations summary. Then we will go over the trucking routes for the facility. And then we will discuss the solid waste and permit applications. And then finally, we will open up our discussion for any questions or comments. So first off, we have the facility location. As we can see from our Google Earth Street View, the facility is located in between the Garden State Parkway to the northwest, as well as I-78, which is located to the south-southeast. And again, the address for this proposed location will be 100-108 Coit Street on Block 203 and Lot 2. We have some images here of the current facility. This is pulled from Google Earth 3D, just showing you a 3D image of the current situation of the proposed facility location. And moving on, we also have another image pulled from Google Street View of the future facility location. So now this slide will go over the facility operations summary. First, used and scrap tires will be collected from various locations, including tire repair shops, car dealers, or general tire and auto body shops. The used tires will then be delivered to the facility via enclosed trucks. The trucks will unload the used tires inside of the facility. The used tires will then be processed with machinery by cutting and baling. The cut and baled tire material will then be reloaded into shipping containers. And then the trucks will retrieve the shipping containers and transport the materials to the buyer for recycled use, and that will be the end market. This slide will go over equipment, materials, and safety. The equipment at the facility will include multiple types of machinery, including shredding or cutting machines, baling machines, forklifts, or material transport vehicles or machines. And the noise emission levels for this equipment will align with the City of Irvington ordinance requirements. The materials of the used scrap tires, up to 60 tons of scrap tire material will be processed each day of operations, and all litter will be disposed of by a licensed carting company. And as far as safety, the employees will be trained and authorized to safely handle the materials. The trucks will not be allowed to idle inside the building. Truck engines will be turned off during the loading and unloading processes. And the facility will be equipped with fire extinguishers and a sprinkler system in accordance with the local fire department codes. And to emphasize, all raw material unloading, shredding, and reloading will occur inside the enclosed facility building. Now we will go through a video of the facility operations. And the one thing, I don't believe that the audio is working, but I believe in Solomon, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just instrumental. There's no speaking or words involved in the video. So if the audio doesn't play, you won't be missing anything. Okay, and I am going to pull up the other two videos that we have since we have a little bit of time. Okay, I'm going to show the third and final video. Okay, and that concludes our videos for the presentation. I'm going to go back into the PowerPoint now. So those videos should give you a good idea of what the proposed operations will look like. Now this slide will discuss the deliveries. So the materials will be delivered by an enclosed truck between 7 o'clock a.m. and 7 o'clock p.m., approximately 6 to 8 times per day. And that will occur 5 days per week on a Monday through Friday schedule. The schedules will be created to ensure there is no staging of trucks. The trucks will enter directly into the facility and the materials will be unloaded inside of the building. The trucks will be turned off during loading and unloading processes. The trucks will travel to or from I-78 and will not travel into residential neighborhoods. And no delivery or container vehicles will be permitted to queue on public streets. Once the materials are cut and baled, they will be loaded directly into the shipping containers, and all containers will be inspected by an authorized manager prior to being unloaded, and the employees will be trained to safely handle the materials. These next slides will go over the different trucking routes. This is the route that the trucks would take from I-78 westbound to get to the facility. And then this is from I-78 eastbound to the facility. And now we have from the facility to I-78 eastbound, as well as the facility to I-78 westbound. So as you can see, all of these routes, just about 4 to 5 minutes each. As you can see, the facility is quite close to I-78, so that gives a nice route for the trucks to go to and from the facility. So this slide will now discuss the solid waste inclusion and the permit applications that Urban Renewal will intend to obtain and adhere to for environmental regulations and permits before the operation occurs. So the first will be the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Environmental Justice Law Administrative Order 2021-25, and that's currently what we're holding this meeting as part of. If this is approved, we will go on to the next step, which is to be included into the Essex County District Solid Waste Management Plan. And if that permit is approved, then we will go on to the third step, which is with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, and that will be an application as a Class B recycling facility. That's under NJAC 726A. And at that point, that concludes our presentation for right now. We will open this up for any questions or comments, and written questions and comments can continue to be accepted through April 14th, 2022. And those written questions or comments can be submitted to me either through my email, which is jamie.mire@mottmac.com, or addressed by mail to me at Jamie Miro, Mott McDonald, at 412 Mount Kemble Avenue, Suite G22 in Morristown, New Jersey, 07960. And that's the end of our presentation. Okay, does anyone have any questions at this point? Solomon, do you have anything to add?
No, Jamie, I think that was perfectly said. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, good presentation there, Jamie.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I'll just make a clarification statement. If you go, can you go to the slide immediately prior to this one?
Sure, one moment. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So we're in the initial stage of the environmental justice law, and the next step is Essex County District Solid Waste Management Plan inclusion. I think the procedure would be we would fill out an application and then it gets reviewed by Essex County, and I believe they have their SWAC members would vote, and if that is approved and there is a plan, there's not necessarily a permit that's issued, but it's the plan, a plan amendment gets approved by the DEP to add urban renewal into the district plan as a Class B facility. So we don't really necessarily get a permit from the county. It's really just getting into their solid waste management plan. And once you're in the plan, and only once you're in the plan, at that point, can you make it, submit an application to the department for a Class B general approval. So just for any of the people that are listening to or going to be listening to the presentation here, I just wanted to clarify that we don't really get a permit from the county so much as be admitted to their county plan.
Perfect.
Solomon,
Thanks for
yeah,
thanks
sure.
for clarifying that, Brian.
Sure. Solomon, did that make sense?
Yeah, I think it was a good clarification on the process that we're taking and all the regulations and requirements that we're trying to abide by. And we want the community say whether, we want everyone to hear this. We tried to publicize this to make sure that, we're trying to bring this facility to the area. We think it'll be good for jobs and for the environment to recycle. It's not easy to recycle this kind of rubber. So,
Sure. That equipment is pretty impressive. Those videos were very, very informative. Would you see your facility having one of those machines or multiple machines? Any thoughts on that yet, or is that down the road?
I think a little down the road, our initial idea is to have multiple of those just to be able to handle the volume that we want to handle. Generally speaking, there are multiple lines also, depending on how many times you run the rubber through certain shredders. There are different types of uses for it. So, initial shred, it allows you to easily dispose of and kind of for fuel as a alternative to gas. And then as you continue to shred it smaller and smaller, right, it's mixed into concrete, as a sound barrier. It's used on the playground mats. You could then use it as rubber on the turf field. So, it opens every step of it opens more and more possibilities and more uses rather than it just being, I guess, for lack of a better word, other than just being garbage.
Sure. Good. Always looking for sustainable options. That's a good plan.
Yeah, it's what we're trying to do.
And
yeah, that's pretty cool.
I was looking at the zoning around the perimeter of your property, and it looks to me like everything on all four sides, you're surrounded by industrial property. I'm looking at the Township of Irvington zoning map, and this has a date on it of December the 1st, 2017. I got it off the township's website, and it looks like if I'm looking at your property, on the north side, it's zoned special industrial M-1, and on the east side, it's light industrial M-2, and on the west and south sides, it's zoned heavy industrial M-3. So it looks to me like your operation would align with the zoning for, all the way around the perimeter of your facility. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of the area, I know there are residential houses, not, less than a block away, but I think for some reason Coit Street, where we are, is the industrial hub of Irvington. A lot of warehousing and manufacturing facilities around us, which is why we think, that this opportunity fits right in with the area. We understand that there are residences around us, and we're respectful of that. And our plan, as Jamie presented it, really, I guess, summarizes and shows that we're respectful of the residences, right? We're not, between our hours and the way we're going to be handling and operating the facility, you know, it's respectful of the residents, but we do think that it is perfect for the area as well.
Sure. Okay. David, are you still on? Did you have any questions, comments, any clarifications we can provide to you at this time, or?
Nope, no questions or comments. Great presentation. At this point, you can just run the slides up until the allotted time, and hopefully you have some attendance from the community.
Okay. So Jamie, do you know how to run it so it continues to cycle? I would not be able to do that.
I'm trying to think, in order to run the recording, I'd have to stop recording and then start again. I think maybe the easiest way to do this is to kind of just manually go through.
Can you put it on presentation mode?
Let's see.
I think go back to the, yeah, and then go to on the top slideshow.
Mm-hmm.
And then from beginning. I think it should work by itself from there.
Okay. Doesn't look like it's
Jamie, if that doesn't work, you can
Mhm.
leave the title screen up,
okay.
and then should you have someone attend, then you'd have to do the presentation again.
Yep, that's
So
fine.
you can leave it like that. That's fine. And
Okay,
just
perfect.
leave it open for the public. Give some more time to it. But at the allotted time, I said earlier, you can conclude if you have no attendance. And you know, I really appreciate all your time and efforts going through this. You know, in the spirit of the law and allowing the community a chance to comment and see your facility. So I really do appreciate all your patience and time.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for all your guidance, David.
Yeah, thank you so much, David. Really appreciate it.
So I will not, I will be till the end, but I do have some children to take care of. So, you know, if you need me, I'm here. Just give me some time, or maybe send in the chat if you don't hear from me. But otherwise, I'll be monitoring for anyone who has any questions about the AO or the law itself. But again, I really appreciate all you've done here in the spirit of the law, and I look forward to working with all you.
Thank you, David. Have a good evening if we don't talk again, and we'll keep this thing going till 7:30. Is that?
Yes, that's fine. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you again.
All right. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, David. So I think one of the coolest uses that I've seen for the shredded tire material is actually in a rock gym. So instead of having the padding on the floor, they actually had the shredded tire material. So if you fall off the wall, you kind of land in the tire material.
A lot of the gym floors, you see like they're all like black rubber a lot of the times are from recycled rubber.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. No, there's a ton of uses.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's environmentally safe. Like it's conducive for, you know, my opinion, cities and states to allow for these kind of facilities because, you know, the end uses are, you know, usable through many industries. And on top of that, it helps with the recycling of tires. You know, they're not good for the environment. They shouldn't be thrown around or in landfills if there's other uses for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And in
Yeah,
general, I feel like they're littered a good amount too, so it's good to use that material.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I live out in the country and every road that's got a, like a drainage swale next to it, they're just loaded with tires.
Wow.
Loaded
Yeah.
with tires.
Yeah.
It's criminal.
I actually used to do, I used to work on boats doing marine surveying. So we worked with sonar systems. And the one thing that we were always guaranteed to find in any type of waterway, whether it was the ocean or a river or a small creek, there were always tires.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was always a question of, some of the places that I surveyed, how did that even get there? But
Yeah, how does that happen?
yeah, I mean, I know some ships will use them like tugboats.
No, for
We'll use them
bumpers.
as as bumpers, but other places I've been in where there's no tugboats around, but there's still tires.
Hmm.
Well, Solomon, I hope that my clarification statement will put the Township of Irvington at ease a little bit. I know they were pretty upset about the way that the verbiage of the original public notification in the newspapers. So, we wanted to make a point to bring that to the forefront of this presentation, and hopefully that there's now it is very, very clear who the chair or the organizer is of this meeting.
Yeah, I think once we clarified and admitted our mistake, and we went back to them, I think they were fine with it. I think it was just taken by shock, and I mean, they were up in arms about it. But I think right now we're good. I think
Okay.
we've received some good feedback,
Oh, good.
so I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Solomon, I have a question. The Eco Green machinery, do you use that particular company for other facilities?
No,
It's just similar machinery.
similar. It's similar. It's the exact same machinery. They just had a very good video presentation on
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yep. Yeah, it gives a really good
Yeah,
idea of how it works. Yep.
exactly. It's hard to describe what we do sometimes.
Right.
So the fact that we had, some background on them, that's their sales video.
Right, right.
They're what we haven't like honed in on who we're going to supply by, because before we do that we want to get through this portion. But they're in the running, but we haven't made a decision yet.
Hey, Solomon, the machinery, is that operated by way of electricity or diesel fuel or? what's your-
Electricity. Everything's electricity.
Okay, good, good.
We're not going to be emitting any smoke or everything's electric.
Very good.
Yeah, our expertise originally was in plastic manufacturing. So we have a manufacturing facility in Brooklyn where we manufacture garbage bags and recycling bags. So that's how, my dad got started, and he kind of, also, and that is all electric. We stayed away from any smoke or burning or, anything like that. It's just not worth it. The risk of it it doesn't pay,
Sure. So you process like plastic trash bags like you get at the grocery store?
What do you mean that you get at the grocery store? Like for the kitchen?
Well, like when you bag your groceries?
No, so we don't do shopping bags because we used to, but New York put a ban on it.
Yeah, okay.
So we were out of that beforehand, but we saw the writing on the wall.
Okay.
We kind of just honed in like garbage and recycling bags, their everyday uses. They're not going out of business, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, so we are at 7:30 and we have no attendees. So I think we are going to go ahead and conclude our meeting. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you, Solomon, and thank you, David, for attending. And at this point, I'm going to conclude the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Understood. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.